Hey guys, it's Kugli again with another ROM review, and this time I've got a very new ROM and it's called Desolation. Rad name, and let's get started with that then. So guys, the Desolation ROM is a fairly new ROM. Let's get started now. First of all, in the settings menu, you can see that about phone page, you can see there is system updates available, but it is not the OT update. I'm not really sure what it is. You can see there is Desolation and it is amazingly detailed. That's pretty cool. It is 7.1.2. That is the one. Desolation ROM version is 0.3. The security patch is July 5, so that's the latest one right now. And as I've said, the kernel is I think it's Blackbird. It is Leet, so I'm not really sure what they mean by it, but I'm gonna call this a Blackbird kernel. So that is the thing about it. Linear status is enforcing for those who care. This is an AOSP CAF based ROM, and the surprising thing about this ROM is that this is not an EAS kernel. At least I think this is not an EAS kernel. I couldn't find any mention of that, but it is surprisingly battery efficient, and this is probably close to Vertex ROM when it comes to battery life, because I really do think that the idle drain of this ROM was in below 1% overnight, and that is pretty amazing. I'll talk about battery life later. Let's start with the features now. First of all, in the features, all the extra features are inside this one, and this is a fairly feature-rich ROM. Kind of reminds me of Citrus CAF because it is what it is, and that is the settings which I get. Now, clock settings are available, status bar brightness control, double tap on the status bar to sleep. Notification mode, you do have a ticker and heads up display, and heads up has the timeout and snooze timer. You can customize that. Battery bar is enabled, battery status style can be customized, battery percentage can be customized, and all that is available, even with pulse icon, and you can also change the pulse duration. You do have charging symbol near the text and all that, network traffic indicator, status bar icon. It doesn't have VoLTE icon, which I would have preferred. Status bar banner is also available. Now, when we swipe, you have notification drawer settings, so you do have brightness level. You can enable or disable that from here, so that is pretty cool. Weather image can be enabled, and that is amazing because I haven't really seen any other CAF ROM with this weather option on the status bar drop down sheet. That is amazing. I really do like that. There is weather settings, which is Omni Jaws. You can customize that. LED light settings is inside this one rather than inside notifications. Now in the power menu, you do have screenshot, screen record, flashlight. All of these options are available. That is pretty cool. In lock screen options, you do have lock screen torch, lock screen battery info. All of these things can be customized. You can even disable that in the lock screen, so that's pretty cool. The quick setting tiles in the lock screen, that's pretty cool to have. You do have fingerprint quick unlock, which is amazing. Also fingerprint vibrate to unlock. That is also really there. Now in the device interaction screen, you do have button customization, and that is available. There is no keyboard cursor control, which I would have liked to have, but all the other options seems to be available. For back, home, and overview button, 3 functions: single tap, long press, and double tap. And also in the device integration, you do have other stuff like navigation bar. You can enable that, and that is a DUI style navigation bar. You have navigation, smart bar, and playing settings. In the recent option, you do have a recent alternative, that is slim recent. You can have that. Also, there is Omni Switch, which if you want to use, that is available. Also, clear all button can be customized, and you can have a show clear all button. Now, quick setting tile, as you can see, quick setting tile can be customized from here. Only the small quick setting tile can be customized from here. Now, as you can see, I just scrolled up and then down, and you can no longer customize the small quick setting tile. That is another thing which I've found with this ROM. So the coding may be a little bit off, but hey, that's not a huge problem. This is the first iteration. It is a 0.3 version, so I can forgive that. So that's not a problem. You do have quick setting tiles, and all the reasonable stuff you will see here is going to be available. You can even disable the service icon on the settings bar if you don't want that, so that's pretty cool. Other than that, hide all of these stuff. Pull down date and clock in the center if you can. If you want, you have to remove one of those. Quick pull down, smart pull down, fingerprint quick pull down. Now I tried using this, doesn't really work. I just keeps home button. In the miscellaneous option, you do have all of these options. It does have a scrolling cache. You can customize that, even disable immersive messages and all that can be customized from here also. That's pretty nice to have. Apart from that, you do have suspend action, weight lock blocker, volume steps can be customized, and also transition animation like in AOSP. So these are the stuff which is available in the extra settings. So as you can see, there are quite a fair amount of options available, and I do really like it. But the thing is, it's not the most customizable. I understand that. It does have a lot of features, and this is frankly more features than I was hoping, and there are a few issues here and there which does cause it to bork out sometimes. So the features, I'm gonna give it a score of 6 out of 10 because it is a great amount of features, but PAX still has more features, and yeah, it's going to get a 6 then. Now the battery life. Battery life really did kind of take me by surprise. I didn't expect this to be a really battery efficient ROM. This is the first try by the kernel. So battery life was surprisingly good. I was really impressed with it. Screen on time, I got about 4 to 4.5 hours, just like I would get on a Vertex ROM. And Vertex ROM is my comparison for this battery life because that's one other ROM which I find very useful, and that is something which I really like. So with Vertex ROM, I got a very good battery life. I gave it a score of 8 out of 10 for battery life. I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10 too because it was really great. I got a really good battery life. The idle drain at night, overnight, was 0.89% per hour. That is unheard of for me. I never had that kind of a score any time, so I really like that one. So yeah, battery life is gonna get an 8 out of 10. Now performance. Performance is where it kind of lags behind. Not because it is not smooth, not because it is not working correctly, just because the Antutu benchmark score, which gave it a very bad score. I got it 120,000. As an average, it is 120,000. Previous runs of the same also gave me about the same score. So this is the last score which I got. So 12691 was the first run, and the subsequent runs also were 120,000. So I guess that's what you get. Performance, I'm gonna give it a fairly low score of 4 out of 10 just because of the performance benchmark score, not because of the usage. It's smooth, it works out really well, games play reasonably well. I didn't really find anything extraordinary and even extraordinarily poor, so it does work out. Now the stability. I had a few issues with the stock stuff. All the applications which I use works out really well, no issues there. And sometimes what happens is the home button just doesn't work. Home button doesn't work with the phone on. The home button doesn't work. Right now it is working, but sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it just does. It vibrates, but it doesn't respond. Also, other times fingerprint scanner does not work. If my phone is off and I try and use the fingerprint scanner, it just doesn't work. It doesn't even vibrate, and the only way I can get past it is by restarting the device. Apart from that, I didn't really have any issues with that. I mean, you have already seen the issues on the extra settings menu here and there, so that is one thing. But these issues I can expect because this is not a full release version, at least I don't think it is. But yeah, that is still an issue. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10 for stability. Now the camera. It comes with OxygenOS camera package, and yes, you guessed it right, it is HAL 1 packages. So what happens is OxygenOS camera works great. It's amazing. It works really well. It does have HDR, doesn't have RAW support, but no other ROMs except PAX has that. Great camera, but what it gives you is that other camera applications like Cinema FE5 doesn't work because, well, camera HAL 3 doesn't work. So that is another thing which I found kind of sad in this one. So yeah, camera is good, but I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 because it is just HAL 3. At this point, it just needs a HAL switcher, automatic HAL switcher, and that would work out really well. Aesthetically, it is substratum, nothing special going on, 6 out of 10. So then comes the overall experience using this ROM. I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, the features are good, the stuff which works on this favor, they are good. Everything does works out. Features, I really like it. Battery blew me away with that battery. Performance scores are less, but everything works out. I didn't really have any stutter issues here and there. Stability stuff, yeah, of course there are going to be a few issues here, but still I'm going to give the overall score as 8 out of 10. Just because I really enjoyed this ROM. It was really cool. For the 2 days I've been using it, it was amazing. I really like it. So yeah, that is it. Let me show you guys the boot animation, which is pretty cool. Here is the boot animation for Desolation, and I'm reminded of Fire and Ice, you know, the book which Game of Thrones is based on. Not really sure. So anyways, it's really cool boot animation. It's minimal, it's smooth as hell, and I really like it. So yeah, I guess that should be it about the ROM then. Total score, I'm gonna give it a 6.14, and that's what the math gave it. Still gonna give it a 6.2 out of this because it's a really enjoyable ROM. Only the performance and stability kept it down, but I'm really interested in seeing a next iteration with the same kernel, because I have to try this kernel with other ROMs now, because if this is a battery life which this kernel can give me, I'm all for it. That's pretty amazing. So yeah, I guess I'm just it about the ROM then. Hope you guys liked the video. Please share, subscribe and like the video if you found it useful. See you guys next time. Bye.